Hi everybody, this is Jeremy from District 14. Today I'm doing a Harry Potter headcanon video. And specifically it comes from the first book, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. If you're American, should be Philosopher's Stone, but American editors thought Americans would not read a book about a philosopher, but they would about a sorcerer. I know, it's embarrassing. But regardless, in the first book, there is something that happens that I have developed my own headcanon about. If you had just read the first book, you would think nothing of it. But after having read the entire series, I think there was a particular behavior by a certain witch that I can only explain away in one way. When Harry first goes to King's Cross Station with his ticket and his trunk and his owl to board the Hogwarts Express, he knows he has to go to platform 9 3/4. There's of course a huge problem. There is not a sign for a platform 9 3/4 because it is only accessible, presumably, by witches and wizards. Muggles can't do it, and therefore he can't ask the Muggle guard, how do I get to this platform? Harry finds his way onto the platform when he sees the Weasleys. Of course, at the time, he doesn't know them, but he hears Molly Weasley make the comment, "This place is so packed full of muggles." And then she asks, "What's the platform number again?" Here's where my headcanon comes in. I believe that Dumbledore told Molly to be on the lookout for Harry Potter, specifically because he would need help. I think the Order of the Phoenix, while not perhaps fully formed, he was already recruiting, and Molly was one of his first agents to be on a mission, and that mission was to help make sure Harry easily got to Hogwarts. A few things that we know. Dumbledore likely knew the Dursleys wouldn't help him. I think it's pretty well established that anybody who had any work at all with Harry and his hidden placement knew that the Dursleys sucked. McGonagall herself even stated they were the worst kind of Muggle. Dumbledore knew what type of a life he was sending Harry into. He had to, so his mother's sacrifice would continue to protect him, but he knew the Dursleys were not going to help him in any way whatsoever, not even if they could have. They were Muggles. They wouldn't have known what platform 9 3/4 was anyway. I would even go so far as to say that Dumbledore, despite trusting Hagrid, I don't think he would have been that surprised that Hagrid might have dropped the ball on this one. Now, here is where my headcanon kind of grew. Molly, who went to Hogwarts herself and has sent several children to Hogwarts already, there's no way in the world she wouldn't have remembered what platform 9 3/4 was. She was very publicly seen asking in this crowded Muggle station, "Now what platform is it again? There are so many Muggles around." She was doing everything but saying, "I am a witch. Look at me. Pay attention to me." Now, we could perhaps theorize that she was asking the kids what platform it was as a way to practice this with Ginny, but platform 9 3/4 has such a huge presence in the series as a whole, I'm not sure I buy it. Now, you could make the case, well, J.K. Rowling's universe grew as she wrote. We also know that J.K. Rowling was a master of burying things in tiny details that would pay off later on. I think this is one of those things. I suspect that Molly noticed Harry, realized this is the boy Dumbledore told me to look out for, and probably even maybe passed him a few times, dropping hints that they were a magical family and that Harry would be safe to approach them for help. Harry overhears a conversation once he's on the Hogwarts Express between Molly and her twin sons Fred and George. The conversation was about meeting Harry, and Molly's like, "Oh, how nice." But I think this could easily be explained away as her simply not telling her kids about the mission that Dumbledore had her on. The reason I suspect this also, Fred asks, he wonders, "I wonder if Harry remembers what who looks like." And Molly immediately becomes very stern, even saying, "I forbid you to ask him, Fred. No, don't you dare," as though he needs reminding of that on his first day at school. I think Molly knew how important Harry was. She knew from Dumbledore that he had likely been very abused and sheltered and knew nothing of the magic world. I think this ended up becoming one of Molly's very first missions for the Order of the Phoenix. With this first interaction, the relationship between the person who is going to become the closest thing to a mother Harry has in his entire life is formed. All thanks to Dumbledore. So, what do you think? Does my headcanon make sense? Is there anything I've missed that might shed some light on this subject? Please leave a comment down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I am excited to grow this channel. Hunger Games videos every Monday, Harry Potter videos every Wednesday, book reviews as I read them. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time, and until then, happy reading.